Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Living Lives. Today's going to be fun. I have my friend Nick Vannello with me, and he says, I often say that I only have two skills, public speaking and getting men out of their clothes. So he was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug back in sixth grade, but it's been the last two businesses that have allowed him to live his life openly and completely, while focusing on his passion and his purpose. So for the last 6 years, he was the owner of Kilted Bros, a kilt shop that was unapologetically gay, inclusive, and certainly, as some would describe it, balls out. And he is currently the publisher of GoNaked Magazine, a men's nudist magazine that connects our readers to the people, places, and products that supports the nudist lifestyle. So welcome, Nick.
Hey there. How's it going, Wayne?
Fantastic. I'm so glad you're able to join on this show today.
Thank you for having me here. This is awesome. And we've got church bells going across the street. So if you hear that, it'll be done in a few seconds.
No worries.
All right.
You can barely hear it.
Good.
So tell us a little bit about Nick and how Nick got started in some of this stuff.
Oof. Okay. So I'm Cleveland born and raised. Once I got out of high school and started going to college, I immediately, like within the first year and a half, started going on the road to work. So I have been traveling on the road since about 1984. And I started my career teaching anatomy physiology workshops for fitness instructors. And I would do these workshops along with choreography workshops. And I did that for about 13 years. And during that entire time, when I was at my absolute thinnest, by the way, I graduated high school at 6 foot, which is what I am now, and at 102 pounds. So imagine this at 102 pounds. By the time I started going on the road, I had all kinds of body issues because I wasn't thin enough, I wasn't muscular enough or whatever. And that has followed me for a number of years. Once I hung up my gym shoes, I discovered I really like to eat, and the pounds came on and my frame filled out. And then I went through a whole different set of body issues because now I'm a heavy dude. And throughout all of this, I've just kept this really entrepreneurial spirit. And like you said before, my last business before this was Kilted Bros, because kilts were awesome. And for the last 8 years, we just celebrate 8 years, I've been publishing GoNaked Magazine, which is a men's nudist magazine. And I started doing that because I needed something exciting to do in my time off while I was sitting in my hotel rooms when I wasn't, working for a client during the day.
Sounds really interesting. I did visit Kilted Bros a couple of years ago when I was out there.
Yep.
I didn't meet you at the time. I met your partner,
Jefferson. Yep.
And it was definitely, I need to get me a kilt, but I was in the process of losing some inches myself, and it wasn't a point of buying it then and then having to resize it and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So Jefferson had recommended waiting till I got to where I wanted to be and then getting a kilt. So I still have no kilt, but
talk to me afterwards. We'll see what we still got in stock.
Now, is the store still open or is it?
No, everything is officially closed. I have a little bit of stock left, but I'm taking that to an event next month, and I'll be selling off the rest of it then, and then it's officially done.
Okay. So, your new venture, and, we're talking a little bit about entrepreneurial stuff here today. So if you're wondering what's in my diffuser right now, I have wild orange in the diffuser because wild orange is the oil of abundance. So it's a great oil for when we talk about going, entrepreneurial stuff. So, GoNaked Magazine, what I've came across it when I met you last week at an event up at Easton Mountain.
Yep.
And you have jam-packed that magazine with tons. I thought it was just going to be, pictures of Naked Man, and it wasn't. I mean, it's full of content
Yeah.
that is really good stuff. All stuff from where there's a whole section. I guess it's an ongoing section because I went back and looked at some of the other ones on where it's safe to do stuff like that, and country wise or state wise. You had trips, and it looks like you run events and things, and so it's like a whole new.
Yeah. I've been doing this for 8 years, and I started the magazine mostly because I just wanted to learn how to do it. That's how most of these things end up. I have an itch that I need to scratch, and I need to learn how to do something. So David, who publishes Bear World magazine, just happened to be in the same town as I was, and we were both in Charlotte having coffee. I asked if I could take him to dinner. We talked, and I told him I wanted to start my own magazine. I had a couple of different ideas. He said, which one do you think is going to be more fun? I went with the naked thing, and I never thought that 8 years later it would be where it is now. And like you said, every single month I try to publish approximately 200 or more pages, and it's filled with vacation spots, interviews with artists, people in our community, tips on the whole body, not just the physical body, the spiritual body, the financial body, every aspect that there is. And I love what I do. I love what I do. It's awesome. So
I think it shows if anybody meets you in person. He's like this all the time. Well, most of the time.
Most of the time.
So tell me about some of the events that you do that I've read about in the magazine.
Sure. So prior to this, I led the Cleveland Nudist group for a little while, and I started doing naked workshops at my house. So every month people would get together and learn something nude. And it was everything from Ukrainian egg decorating to Christmas crafts to decorating cakes to we had a doctor and a lawyer come in to answer questions, and the instructor and everybody in the group were naked. And I always wanted to expand this to start doing other cities. So I started doing naked workshops in a couple of local cities like Detroit and Columbus. And then a couple of years ago, I went to Puerto Vallarta because I wanted some cosmetic dentistry done. And it was well worth it, and it was a lot of fun, and I fell in love with Puerto Vallarta. So last year in November, I started planning in January, February, before the pandemic. I decided I was going to take a group of guys to Puerto Vallarta. And despite the fact that there was a freaking pandemic going on, we managed to take 15 guys down to Puerto Vallarta very safely. Everybody had a great time. Everybody came back. And I've got 2 trips going to Puerto Vallarta again this year. And once the borders are really starting to open up and stuff, I plan on taking folks other places around the world where you can get naked. So the events that we're doing this year, there's one Day of the Dead. That's the first week of November. And then I'm doing a trip that's Christmas in Vallarta. And both trips are primarily the same. It's just kind of culturally what's going on around us at the time that's going to be a little bit different. But I rent out this 5-story private villa, so it's just us there. There are 3 pools. There's a chef that makes 2 gourmet meals a day, and you can be naked the entire time that you're up in the villa. And then I try to arrange a couple other clothing optional things, such as Jet's Naked Boat Tours, where you jump on a private boat and they take you out to a private island, and you do naked stuff on an island. So I like to separate what we do. I think what makes us different is in our community, we're very camping focused. So, we're like, let's go out to the woods and stuff. I hate camping. I was forced to do it as a child up until I was about 14, 15 years old. And if I never see another tent or rustic whatever, I will be okay with that. So we met at Easton just a few weeks ago, and I was in a cabin type room with indoor plumbing and stuff. And that, if I'm not earning frequent flyer miles or hotel points, or there's not, 24-hour room service, I'm camping. All right.
It's funny because my brother was a Boy Scout for years, and he was a member of a troop that it was known as a camping troop. They were year-round campers.
Oh.
They camped 12 months, once a month, 12 months a year, rain, snow, sleet, hail, hurricane, whatever. They were out there camping, and I'm with you.
Yeah,
especially as I get older, I don't need to go camping.
I feel that when my ancestors left the caves and went to the villages and started building structures like huts and stuff, they never said, for the weekend, why don't we just go back to the caves for fun this weekend? I don't think that happened. At least not my people. Okay. My people were always saying, I wonder what's happening at the castle this weekend. Gosh, if I could only live that life of luxury for just a few days. And so that's what my vacations are. If I'm taking a group of men, I'm taking you to the castle to meet the prince at the ball, where you can be naked and still, have a great time. So.
Oh, that's funny. I would really wish I could go on one of these trips. So this year's not in the cards, but maybe next year. Awesome. So how many people can fit in the villa?
There's 7 rooms. Double occupancy, so that's 14, and then it's me and my partner, and then I normally bring 2 other helpers, so that there's always somebody there to help. Somebody's there to bartend 24/7. All of the alcoholic and soft drinks are included in the price. We have people that will take care of your luggage, will pick you up at the airport and stuff. So that's 14 plus 4. I don't really do math, so 18-ish, I think.
Okay.
If my public school education serves me correctly.
Yep.
So, and by the end of this, we took 15 last year. By the end of that week, you are so close with those people who've come from all different corners. It's just lovely to leave with a whole bunch of new friends. So
I noticed when I was at Sunclad last week with you up at Easton, or the week before, I had never been to that retreat before. I go to Easton a lot, but not to that retreat. And so it was a lot of different people that I don't usually run into. And I came home with a lot of, new friends. And,
right.
Everybody who watches the show is going to be meeting some of them. Fred last week was somebody I met there. And a couple of my upcoming guests are also people that I met at that week. So it's really kind of exciting. And it's really, it's freeing. I found. I was a little nervous going, but it's definitely a freeing experience, and it's I don't know what else to say about it.
The folks at Easton are absolutely fantastic, and I know a lot of people have a hard time believing this. I have major anxiety sometimes taking off my clothes in front of others because I've been ultra skinny and I've been ultra fat, and my brain still tries to figure out, who are you and why isn't your body like everybody else's? And the reason I get naked is not because I've got this spectacular looking body. It's because it's scary. And if I can force myself to do something scary, like take off my clothes in front of a group of people, I can do other scary things. I can have difficult conversations with people. I can start businesses and apply for big loans. I can buy property. I can do all kinds of incredible things because I have the bravery, because I've practiced by doing something as simple as taking off my clothes. So that's one of the reasons I continue to do it, is because it's an exercise for myself as well.
Yeah, I definitely found that to be the case. And also, you talk about doing something scary. You had brought along your, is it Oculus? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Oculus, yeah.
The Oculus virtual reality headset. And, one of the things that you had out was the walk the plank, which is really scary. And for those of you who haven't seen one, it's a virtual reality headset. You are standing in the middle, for this one in particular, you're standing in the middle of a room. You're on solid ground. There's your friends all around you. It's really a safe. It's all really in your mind. Yeah. And you put this on and it takes you start at street level and you walk into an elevator and the elevator door shuts, and you push the button that says plank, I think, which is like 30 floors up, and you turn around, you can watch the elevator going up because you see the little floor, you look through that crack in the elevator door and you can see the floors go by. And when the elevator doors open, you are standing, they are opening on the side of the building, and you're looking down 30 flights to the street, and there's all these skyscrapers around you, and it's quite disconcerting. And there's a single plank that looks like to be about 8 inches wide that goes out about 4 feet, and you have to walk the plank. Now, you're on solid ground. You're in a room. There's a solid floor all the way across in front of you. You know this in your head. I know I was in the dining room at Easton, yet it was really hard to walk that plank. And especially when the freaking plank creaks when you step on it. Yeah, it's all in your head. And when you get past that, I know one of the other gentlemen there, when the door opened, he's like, "Wah!" And he ran back in the elevator and pushed the down button as fast as he could. And then afterwards, he said, if I could face this other thing that I have to do, which is, he says, that's nothing. I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah. I love the exercise because just like most of your fears, you're concocting all of these fears in your head. People aren't going to reject me because I don't have a perfect body. People aren't going to like me because I'm not fun enough. I'm not smart enough to start a magazine. I'm not, whatever. I don't have enough money to hang out with this particular group of people. All of those fears are manufactured in your head. And that one particular game is a great example of how stuff is manufactured, and you either give into it or you conquer it. And it's a great simple challenge.
I want to go on record saying I made it to the end of the plank.
You did. It took a little time, but you conquered it.
But I got there. I have no clue how long it took, but I just know I got to the end of the plank.
Yeah.
Turning around was actually the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because being a big guy, it's like, okay, I'm on this narrow plank. How do I turn around? It's creaking.
Yeah.
And you're 30 floors up, even though you're on solid ground.
Right.
It's still scary. And then it was just like, okay, I'm running back to the elevator.
Right. Back to safety.
And it was funny that one of the other programs where there was Rocket something or other, and you had this controller in your hand, and wherever you pointed it and pulled the trigger, you flew. So flying was no problem whatsoever. I even flew through, there was 2 of those giant 3-pronged windmills that were like crossing each other, and I even timed it to go right through them without getting hit, and which is really cool because they're coming. You can actually, if you look, you can see the windmills things coming down, and that was no problem whatsoever. But standing on that plank was definitely a problem.
Yeah, a mind trip.
Yeah, and one of my goals is to go skydiving. So I always wanted to go skydiving, and I'm working on getting to a point where I can go skydiving weight-wise, because there's limits because you have to start a tandem, and there's the canopies have limits. So I'm working on getting to that, and my goal is to be at that point by July 1st of next year.
Fantastic.
I've gone on record as saying that in public. So I've got a bit to go before I know where the weight limit is for most places. Some places it's a little higher, but so my goal is to go skydiving next July.
Awesome.
So it's
awesome.
Should be fun. I'd really love to go like over Dubai or the falls in South Africa, because those are like some of the best places to go skydiving. But I think I'm going to end up starting around here someplace.
Face those fears and go for it.
So yeah, that's one thing I'm definitely looking forward to. So so what's next for you?
So I'm focusing on those 2 trips. And in a few weeks, I'm going to be going down to Memphis to MC the World Bear Competition. I've been doing that for the last 3 years, and that's always a hoot. That's a lot of fun. And I'm thinking of going down to Mexico over the winter. I've hit that age where I've become a snowbird, where I don't want to deal with the snow. So my partner and I are talking about checking that stuff out. And so next week we're also going to be in Southern California, and I'm going to take a few days to just kind of go into the middle of no place and just figure out what I want to do next with the magazine. As you said, my goal is to connect people, and I do that. If you go to the website, to GoNakedMagazine.com, there's a free forum out there where folks can talk about a number of topics. There is a member map where folks can find themselves on maps. Just letting you know that now that website is not safe for work, so you have been warned. And
unless you work at home and there's nobody behind you.
Right. And I want to find different ways to connect people and enrich their lives and make them less fearful and more joyful. I am now at an age where I feel like I have hit the point where I have found happiness in my work. I have found my passion and my purpose, and I've been able to bring all of that together. So I'm a pretty happy person right now.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So I have, as we've talked about, and the people on here have seen on other webcasts that I have, rebranded my business and are taking, my niche to work with men, and in particular men who love men. And that's where, I want to go with my business as well.
Awesome.
So the massage, but also the essential oils, and building a team and coming together in lots of different ways. So teaching and helping people connect, which is one of the reasons I started this web series, is because, we talk about you asked me earlier, what kinds of guests have I had on before and what have we talked about? It's really the common core is all about connection. And it could be connection to ourselves through meditation. It could be connection to the greater energy around. It could be connection going on GoNaked events, so it's all really all about connection. And which I knew when I first met you that I really got a good vibe from you, and I knew we would jive and hit it off, because we have that same background of how can we help people connect.
Right. Yeah, we both come from a place of service and wanting to make people happy and discover new stuff. I think both of us have this curiosity about the world around us that propels us to want to take other people on that journey as well. So, those people are my tribe. Those are the people I love to hang with and work with and serve. And, I learn so much from my readers as well. So, it's always a matter of connection. And I want to let you know, I want to remind you, because we're broadcasting live, for you and for anybody in the community that supports my community, the Nudist community. I give free ad space in the magazine to anybody who supports our community. So for your business, if you supply me with ads, I will put them into the magazine. My folks love connecting with folks who support us. So your business, any of your followers who are following you, the holidays are coming up. It is a great time to get those ads into me. And I will run them for several issues and let our folks know that you're out there.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Go to the magazine, GoNakedMagazine.com, and there'll be a link there where you can just email me.
Perfect. So our time today is coming to an end.
That's terrible.
Unfortunately. I like to keep these under, about 25 minutes, and we're just at that mark. So I want to thank you for joining me today. And if you hang out in the green room for a minute, let me wrap up the show, and I will be right back with you.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
Wasn't that fun? I bet you, not a topic that we're used to talking about here. So a couple things coming up next week. My guest is Michael O'Flaherty. He was the musical director for the Goodspeed Opera House in Connecticut, and he was there for 28 years, and he just happened to retire the month before COVID hit. So for him, it was fortuitous. But he's going to be my guest next week, and also, there's a bunch of fun guests coming up after that. I've actually got the schedule booked through August, but I'll leave you wondering what's coming up next. So, as always, I encourage you all to go out, make a connection, and live your best lives. And if you want to follow up and be notified when we go live, make sure that you like this on my Facebook page, or go to my YouTube channel, and they are I'm at Wayne Lease at all of those spots. So have a great day, everybody.